Jamie Foxx just confessed in open federal court has cracked Hollywood's fake smile wide open. No cameras, no live coverage, no tabloid photogs, just trembling voices, tear-streaked faces, and truth so raw they left even the judge rattled. Inside that tightly sealed federal courtroom, the world finally saw the unfiltered pain of a man who had seen too much. Jamie Foxx, one of the most beloved and versatile stars of our generation, Mr. Suave, Mr. Cool, Mr. Multi-talent, wasn't acting this time. He was falling apart. On the stand, in front of everyone, Jamie didn't understand, not yet. But when that video started playing, he said his stomach dropped, his hands started shaking, his body froze. I didn't know if it was real or staged, Jamie sobbed, but I know what I felt, and I knew I shouldn't be watching it. He tried to leave, but the doors were locked. Let that sink in. He tried to get out, but he couldn't. They told me to watch, he said. They said, everyone who's somebody has been through this. That line alone sent a shiver through the courtroom. After the clip ended, whatever was on that screen, Jamie never revealed the full details. He said he was wrecked. He couldn't sleep, couldn't breathe. He was escorted out, given a drink, told it would calm him down. But he didn't take a sip. And when he looked Diddy in the eye, the man he once called a brother, Jamie said it was like staring at someone who already owned him. But the real terror, it started after he left. After that hellish night inside Diddy's mansion, Jamie Foxx thought the worst was over. But he had no idea the nightmare was only just beginning. What followed wasn't threats with guns or fists. It was worse. It was cold, calculated, corporate. And it started with a phone call. They started calling me, Jamie said. Not threats exactly, just reminders. Reminders to keep quiet, stay close. And then came the offer. Not a conversation, not a negotiation, just an NDA with a check. 7 figures. They offered me money to forget, Jamie told the jury. But I couldn't. I still can't. And when he refused, that's when it all began to collapse. The projects dried up. The phone stopped ringing. Producers, friends ghosted him. Studios pulled out of deals with no explanation. He said it was like becoming invisible overnight, like someone had hit delete on his career. But Jamie knew exactly why it was happening. I watched other careers disappear too, he testified. People who asked questions, they just vanished. Not dead, just erased. He wasn't alone though. Other celebs, he claimed, quietly came to him, shaken, scared, ashamed. You think I'm the only one, he asked the court? I'm not brave. I'm just tired. A gasp rippled through the courtroom when Jamie named names. 3 A-listers, 1 Grammy-winning rapper, 1 beloved late-night TV host, 1 actress known for her activism. The court transcript didn't reveal their identities, but insiders said jaws dropped. And then Jamie said the words that left the room ice cold. Some things you can't unsee. But what made this all so terrifying? It wasn't just the events, it was how they were documented. Jamie told the jury about the vault. According to him, Diddy's estate housed a secret surveillance room, an encrypted, ultra-secure nerve center, hidden servers, locked drawers, live camera feeds. They filmed everything, Jamie said. Not just parties, not just celebrations, but secrets. And we're not talking phones on the table surveillance. We're talking hidden cameras in bedrooms, bathrooms, lounges. People filmed without consent. In compromising positions, some unconscious, some too intoxicated to understand what was happening. This wasn't just blackmail, Jamie said. It was currency, insurance, control. One day, Jamie said he received a package. No sender, just his name in bold black marker. Inside, a flash drive. On it, grainy footage of himself. From that night, sitting in the theater, watching that horrifying clip, cameras had captured his face, his body, his panic. No sound, just his reaction. The last frame, a black screen with 2 haunting words. Just remember, Jamie didn't sleep that night. He couldn't. That message, it was a warning, a reminder that they had him. They were telling me, we see you, we own your silence. He stayed quiet for years. And every time he saw another story in the press about someone pulling out of a movie or disappearing from the spotlight, he wondered, were they filmed too? Jamie testified that these tapes, this blackmail library, had been used before. Double lawsuits, silence victims, force endorsements, manipulate the narrative. Some people defend Diddy, not because they like him, Jamie said, but because they're scared of what he's holding on them. Just when you thought it couldn't get darker, Jamie dropped a bombshell that had the entire courtroom clutching their seats. He said weeks after receiving that eerie flash drive, 2 men approached him in broad daylight outside a restaurant in Los Angeles. Clean cut, dressed like security. No names, no threats, just one of them handing Jamie a phone, and on the other end, Diddy, I hope you're not planning on saying anything you'll regret, my man, Diddy said in a calm, chilling voice. You're a legend, Jamie. Don't lose that over something that isn't your business. But the message was crystal clear. Diddy was watching, listening, and could reach Jamie anywhere, anytime. I couldn't believe it, Jamie testified. He didn't have to yell. He didn't have to threaten. The tone said it all. He owned me now. From that moment, Jamie changed everything. New phone, canceled events, hired private security. Paranoid wasn't the word. He was being hunted. And just to twist the knife deeper, a few days later, a shady gossip article dropped, accusing Jamie of something scandalous, something totally fake. They built a lie around me, Jamie said, just to remind me they could destroy me with a truth or a fiction. But Diddy's world wasn't just mansions and music. It was a fortress of silence, a machine designed to erase resistance. Jamie testified that guests at Diddy's parties had to surrender their phones, supposedly for privacy. But now, he believed those phones were cloned, their data stolen. People think the danger was what happened at the parties, Jamie said. But the real danger was what they took from you, your contacts, your voice, your fear. Then came one of the most gut-wrenching moments in his testimony. Jamie revealed that a famous actress, a woman he described as America's sweetheart, called him one night sobbing. She'd just received a video. It showed her passed out with someone hovering over her. She had no memory. She didn't even know if something had happened. She was terrified, Jamie said. She didn't know if anyone would believe her. And Jamie? He didn't know what to tell her, because he knew if she spoke up, she'd be next. The courtroom was silent. Not a cough, not a whisper, just disbelief. The judge ordered a break. Jamie was visibly crumbling. But before stepping down from the stand, he dropped one final warning. They don't just collect secrets, they manufacture silence. They build a cage made of your worst moments. And then they hold the key. And this wasn't just about Diddy anymore. Jamie said it straight. This is a system, a whole network, and if you think it stops at one man, you're wrong. When court resumed after the break, Jamie Foxx returned to the stand with red eyes and a calm so eerie, it made the room feel like a frozen tomb, because what he said next shattered everything. Jamie took the jury back to that one unshakable night inside Diddy's mansion, the night he thought couldn't get any worse, but it did. It was around 2:00 a.m. The estate was winding down, or so Jamie thought. The lights had dimmed again. The music faded. But then, just like a movie, the entire place went dark. Not moody dark, pitch black. At first, Jamie thought it was a power outage, but he knew in his gut it wasn't. The lights blinked twice. The air turned cold, eerie cold. The kind of chill that doesn't come from A/C, it comes from fear. And suddenly, a tall man in a black suit, someone Jamie had never seen before, walked into the hallway and barked. No phones, no cameras, everyone back inside. That's when Jamie knew this was not a party. This was something else. Curiosity and dread dragged Jamie down the hallway. That's when he spotted it. A cracked door, whispers behind it, then metallic noises, and a scream. A man's scream. He peeked through. What he saw was not a game, not a performance, not a joke. Inside that room, shadows circled. People stood in robes. One figure was being restrained. There were cameras. A woman with a notepad walked calmly through it all, like she was documenting the entire ritual. She looked right at Jamie, made eye contact, and then she smiled. She smiled and shut the door in his face. Jamie backed away, terrified. That's when I knew, he said. This wasn't a home. This was a stage, a theater where people were made into props. But wait, it gets worse. Earlier that night, Jamie had accidentally stumbled onto a forbidden area. While trying to find a restroom, he opened the wrong door and ended up at the base of a staircase. A staircase that was not on the blueprints. The lights were red. The air buzzed with electricity. At the top, two people whispered. One spotted Jamie and said coldly, "You lost?" Jamie apologized and turned away, but not before glimpsing a black curtain, behind which faint white lights were blinking. That's where they kept the good stuff, Jamie said sarcastically. Not good like fun, good like evidence. Later, someone told him what the upstairs was for. The meetings. Jamie asked, "What kind of meetings?" The reply, "The kind where people give up something to get something." That line haunted him for years. And then came the question that hung heavy in the air like smoke after an explosion. Why didn't you come forward earlier? The prosecutor didn't whisper it. He asked it loud, direct. The whole room froze. Jamie looked down. His voice broke before he even said a word. "I was scared," he confessed. "Not for my career. Forget that. I was scared for my life, for my family." For anyone close to me, he looked around the courtroom like the walls themselves might be watching. You don't understand, he said. The reach this man has. It's not just about music. It's about silence. Jamie explained that people who challenge Diddy don't get shot. They get erased, one by one. Lawsuits, shutdowns, surveillance, mysterious firings. You try to expose him? Poof, you're gone. They don't need to kill you, Jamie said. They just delete you. He said he'd seen it. Friends who tried to speak out, gone. Careers nuked. Deals canceled. Some even forced into psychiatric holds. It wasn't paranoia. It was a pattern. And I can't live with that anymore. The room fell into complete, shattered silence, but Jamie wasn't done. He recalled his final days at the mansion, how he was shown secret rooms, ones hidden behind bookcases and curtains, surveillance centers. A windowless bedroom they claimed was his, but looked more like a cell. I didn't feel like a guest, Jamie said. I felt like a suspect in an interrogation room. At one point, he said, he saw handlers. Men who weren't partying, weren't guests, weren't security, just cold-eyed watchers, guiding people into private rooms, making sure the cameras were rolling. Jamie knew then, this wasn't just manipulation. This was a factory of control. And then, months later, came the visit that would confirm everything. An FBI agent, unofficial, anonymous, showed up at Jamie's door. The man claimed he'd been investigating Diddy for years. He told Jamie there were over 30 sealed complaints involving trafficking, extortion, and misconduct tied to Diddy and his inner circle, but none had ever made it past a grand jury.